You know Paula Deen from the Food Network? She's the one who does the cooking shows, and she has cooking shows with her family, so on and so forth. The first time I came across Paula Deen, I did something which I really try not to do, which is I made an assumption about her. And my assumption was that I felt like there was something about the way she was interacting with the other people on her program. Sometimes she has her children on her show. Sometimes she tells stories about her family. Something about her struck me as, and I don't like admitting that sometimes I jump to these conclusions. She feels like there's something racist or xenophobic about Paula Deen. And I said, oh, you know what? It's wrong of me to assume that just because she has a Southern accent, that those are beliefs she holds. That is the type of stereotype I'm trying to separate myself from. And I think I successfully did. And I said, that's a stupid thing to assume. And it's wrong of me. And I need to, this was, 6-7 years ago. And I need to be more conscious of the way that I'm reacting to certain types of people. And we now know that Paula Deen is incredibly racist. We now have a lawsuit that is being filed. This is kind of a long story. Last month, she gave a videotaped deposition as part of a discrimination suit that she's facing, where she discussed her desire to have a, quote, very Southern-style wedding for her brother, which was modeled after a restaurant where the whole wait staff was middle-aged black men wearing white jackets and black bow ties, according to a transcript. She admitted to using the N-word. She discussed ways in which the N-word can be said in something that's not a mean way. And then there's a bunch of these allegations also revolving around her brother, Earl Bubba Hears, and also Paula Deen's company. And they operate a couple of restaurants down in Savannah, Georgia, and they're being sued by a former employee, Lisa Jackson. And the complaint says that she was subjected to violent, sexist, and racist behavior when she was working at a number of Paula Deen's different businesses. And the allegations are pretty broad, including that at Uncle Bubba's Oyster House, Jackson claims that black employees were required to use separate bathrooms and entrances from white staffers. Again, these are allegations that are part of the suit. Jackson also said that African Americans were held to different, more stringent standards than the white employees, and that Paula Deen's brother regularly made offensive racial remarks. And along with these allegations of racism, Lewis, Jackson's complaint accuses Paula Deen's brother of making inappropriate sexual comments, forcing her to look at porn with him. And then we get to, Paula Deen and her views. And the complaint actually details an incident where Lisa Jackson was in charge of food and serving arrangements at the wedding of Paula Deen's brother back in 2007. And the complaint includes a comment that Paula Deen herself allegedly made when asked by Jackson, what types of uniforms should the servers wear at the wedding? And Paula Deen said, well, what I would really like is a bunch of little N-words to wear long-sleeve white shirts, black shorts, and black bow ties. That would be a true Southern wedding, wouldn't it? Paula Deen admits that she used a lot of these phrases, including a really Southern plantation wedding. She denies using the N-word in that particular quote, but she says, yeah, I use the N-word when talking about, I've used the N-word and it's just not always offensive. What do you think?
I think it looks pretty clear. but at the same time, I mean, if you are, I mean, okay, maybe she gets this power trip on having black people as servants and waiters. But
and calling them the N-word.
But, at the same time, they are employees and they're being paid by her. So, I mean, if it's strange.
You're saying if she was really racist, she wouldn't hire black people to begin with?
Like, it doesn't seem like she's repulsed by black people, but at the same time, it kind of does. It's weird.
Natan, what do you think? Lewis saying that she's willing to be served food by black people, so how racist could she really be?
Go see Inglourious Bastards. I mean, honestly, paternalistic slaveholding was pretty common, and they were perfectly racist. They just thought that they could treat them well. They're inferior, but we can treat them well. So I reject that argument.
That may be the mentality.
The Food Network says that they do not tolerate any form of discrimination, and they are strong proponents of diversity and inclusion. They are
sorry, not Inglourious Bastards. Django Unchained is what I meant.
Django Unchained. Yeah. Wrong Tarantino movie.
Right.
Food Network will continue to monitor the situation. A lot of people saying, where's Food Network on this?
I mean, if that's true, aren't they going to fire her?
You would think so.
Yeah.
We will continue to follow it. DavidPakman.com/gear. Get your David Pakman Show t-shirts, hoodies, and what else? Zip-ups. We got a lot of stuff on there, all made from recycled materials. Take a break. Next, Ahmadinejad out in Iran. We'll talk about it.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.